All right, guys, welcome to another edition of Chat with Charlie. And my co-host is Dr. P.
What's going on, Charlie?
Yeah. Nothing much, guys. What's up?
Breathe, Charlie.
I agree 100%.
Let me just be clear here. He does not agree with everything
not
I say.
Not everything.
Hey, Charlie, it's time for your one-on-one.
I do it for fun.
Fun?
No alligator.
We are in the people business.
Have to have the right person.
The game is not over.
Because I want to beat everybody. I just want to be me. Chat with Charlie and Paulette.
Yay!
It's going to be a good 2-3. I'm going to enjoy it. We may have to cut this out, Mark.
No.
All right, guys, welcome to another edition of Chat with Charlie. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Johnny and Mark, but this is our 19th episode for season 2. Is that right? That's right, 19th episode. And today, well, you know what? I have to say this first. I am missing my co-host, Paulette. I'm a little bit bummed. She really balances everything out. She's better than me at this, but we'll see if we can swing this with my great guests. We've got Ted, we've got Samantha, and we've got Brian. So as we get into this season real quick, and thank you for the hand high. I love that. Why don't we go around the room? We'll go ladies first. Introduce yourself, what you do, why you do it, and give us something a little bit unique about you.
Well, hello, everybody. I am Samantha Kornmesser. I am the marketing manager for MDT Marketing. So unlike the rest of my coworkers, I actually work for MDT. MDT is my client, whereas everybody else works very diligently on the client stuff. It's just, I am just MDT. My job is to reach out and make friends with people like Charlie. So
Sad.
It's a ton of fun.
Can we call you Sam during this? Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay,
Absolutely.
good. Give us something unique about you.
Well, something that a lot of people don't know is I know how to hang my own drywall and do the mud, tape, and sanding of all of that stuff. I am actually very handy around the house. I even knew at one time how to sweat pipes together. So
How to do what?
sweat pipes together.
Sweat pipes.
Ask some of your students, I'm sure.
Okay, fine. I was going somewhere else. Ted, tell us who you are, what you do, something unique about you, and why you love working with Sam.
Yeah, so for me, my name's Ted Greeley. Like you mentioned, I'm the Vice President of Agency Services for MDT Marketing. So we do digital marketing for colleges and universities like AIM, Tidewater, and Centura. Something unique about me, when I was in college, I was a morning show intern at a radio station in New York. And I did some of those,
up. Give us
There's
that morning show voice.
So I never could do really the morning show announcer voice stuff. I was more of the guy that would do the phony phone calls and crank call people and stuff like that. So I was one of
Crank
those guys.
Anchors or whatever that show was called.
Kind of, but on a much smaller and less successful scale.
So you were the Bart Simpson of the radio show.
There's a reason why I was an intern, and that's not what I pursued afterwards.
Awesome. Round us out, Brian.
I have a marketing background in lead generation and lead nurturing. In recent years, I'm now working closely with Samantha on our growth engine, exactly like she said, meeting people like you and helping grow your student population.
Growth engines and sweat pipes.
Yeah. I don't know if I can beat that. I was going to go with led the league in penalty minutes on my my high school ice hockey team.
That was good. Penalty minutes. Is that throwing gloves off, throwing fists?
It's throwing fists.
Really? Okay. Were you more of a checker kind of guy?
I was. I'll have to send you. I got some clips for you.
Okay, good. One of the coolest things that I've gravitated to on LinkedIn, you did a post a while ago, not a while ago, it's probably a couple weeks ago, and you talked about just like targeting in hockey, you go where the puck is.
Yeah, I think the concept that you're mentioning is kind of in how AI looks like it's going to change the marketing and business landscape. So it was I'd seen a post where someone was talking about the Gretzky's father quote where he said to anticipate where the puck's going to be and be there. And I'm like, oh, that couldn't be more relevant than what's going on right now with how AI is just morphing the business landscape.
It's perfect, though,
kind of
right?
played on that.
I think it's a great analogy. It's a good visual, not the fighting part or the checking, but definitely the following the pipe. Sam, that is an interesting cup you got there. What's that all about?
snaps. I got that my very first, 2 weeks into the job. I got this from FAPS conference.
So wait a minute, you didn't get an MDT mug, you got a FAPS cup?
I sure did. I even have a beach towel that goes with it.
Really?
I think it's just shameless product placement there.
Oh
it's
my
kind of ridiculous.
God. I can't believe this product placement here.
It's just shameless, I tell you what.
Wait a minute.
Ooh, that's good water.
Let me, what's that sign back there?
What?
Brian, I feel like you're left out on this.
No, I was pointing to my mug over here.
Look your mug?
At
You can see it.
Yeah, there it is.
That little tiny mug in the back. Oh.
Well, now you look like a teacup. You look like
It does.
So let's go back to sweating pipes for a second. What? I'm just joking. So our
like
audience,
nickname the entire rest of the time.
I can't get it out of my
They're
head.
like, can we call you Sam? Yes, yeah. Okay, sweating pipes. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Everybody will remember one thing from this show, and unfortunately, it's going to be that girl that did something. She sweated pipes or something. So good memories here. So if you guys don't know, we've been doing this for a while, and what we try to do, we have campuses from the Pacific to the Atlantic, and we share training topics or what we feel is important topics for everybody to know within our organization. And we're branching out now, and MDT is not only a partner but a family. I mean, they really are. All of you are, including some that aren't on here. And it's been just a great pleasure to work with you guys. And why not have you on the show? Because people want to know who the people are behind the scenes that do the work that makes them look good. And I will say, I think, Ted, I wrote you this the other day. You guys make me look so good.
I think the glasses make you look really good at this
I was
point.
going to say, with a little help from Shub. Yeah.
Well, this is a little shout out to Lead Squared. These are Shub, if anybody knows him. Maybe he'll watch this. But he was gracious enough. I commented on glasses. In fact, I even sent him an email. I said, dude, don't take this the wrong way, but those glasses I kind of dig. Where did you get those? And he's like, no problem. I'll get you a couple pairs. Scooted off out of the country and brings me back a couple pairs. The guy is just a class act. Class act company, class act guy. And I love that you guys work with him too. But I do appreciate him and appreciate you guys. So as we jump into this, tell me about, working with AIM in particular. I think, we have 15 campuses now with the AIMs. What do you guys think of when you think of the AIM brand?
Yeah, for me, Charlie,
what'd you say?
So I think of Charlie.
Say 25% of the aviation mechanics of the country. That's the first thing I think of.
That's right. Anybody that flies, you'll have a 1 in 4 chance that one of our graduates is making sure that bird stays in the air. That's exactly right.
I was going to say, for me, polished. Like when you go into an AIM campus and you check out the hangar, everything is overwhelmingly awesome.
We have no sweaty pipes.
No sweaty pipes. But no, it's like overwhelming. Like all the cool stuff that's in there, and like the walls, like everything from beginning to end. It's just an overwhelmingly fantastic experience to visit a campus and to meet the students that are out there training.
Yeah.
Like anytime we walk through a campus and we see somebody preparing for the exams, it's like, man, it really speaks to watching somebody change their future. And the fact that you get to see that every day and that you guys are facilitating that, and we can help facilitate that by facilitating you.
A lot of facilitation going on right there.
What can I say?
And I'll also say it's not only external with the students, but I've been fortunate to witness so much growth with our own employees, our own staff, colleagues, whatever you want to call them. And we've had so much growth because of not only the work that you're bringing us, because it matures us and kind of our skill set, if you will, but also working with these individuals every day. It's such a responsibility to be a caring professional and not just look at it like most of us came from kind of an old school admissions days where it was just a number. And I can safely say here, we don't even look at it that way. The numbers support a narrative to care for a person, not to support the organization, if you guys get what I mean. That makes sense?
Oh, absolutely.
It does. And the cool thing about that
100%.
too is we're starting to include more staff and faculty into the marketing because we know that it's such a great reflection of the institution, as well as the fact that they're going to be here for a long time. Like it's not like a lot of turnover that's, constantly having to be concerned about replacing people. And so we don't want to have any marketing because then you got to switch it all out.
Yeah.
When you've got people that care and that are on a mission that comes through, they're going to stick around. And we want to showcase that front and center.
It's full circle. In fact, you guys are coming, Gary's coming. I'm not sure who else is coming with us in January. And we're taking our video nurturing to a new level. We're going to have the talent that exists here. Our instructors are going to be helping us in the nurturing phase, and we're going to do some filming with them, and their natural personalities will just come out. And that's really who we are type thing.
Yeah.
So Sam, I have a question, unless you had a comment.
No, go right ahead.
I got a question for you. So you do the internal marketing basically for MDT. So your job is to make sure, just like I do, that MDT has that presence outside. It's got the cultural recognition and things like that. Is that correct? So how do you go about that? I mean, what does anything keep you up at night? How do you work with these guys here to ensure that that culture is represented out there? I mean, what's your McDonald's secret sauce?
Really, it is a lot of how to get everything done that is on the list to do without having a full team like MDT. Like I can't hire my team to do our stuff, unfortunately, but I do end up having to pick their brains. But I think a lot of the times what I like to do is just showcase our people. When I first got hired on, that was something that Mitch told me right away was it's not about the what, it's about the who. And
wait, slow down. What did you just say?
It's all about the who, not about the what.
Okay. So, I like that.
And something else one of the things I've really tried to drive for, so I've been with MDT for going on almost 5 years. It's about 4.5 now. And, I've been telling everybody, I'm like, it's not about us. Don't say we. And you're in the copy that we're writing. It's not about us. You don't say we, to the point that, I was writing something in ChatGPT's assistants and it wrote something and I was like, no, take out the we. And funny story, it actually made a joke about it. And it's like, it's a little less we. And I cracked up. I was like, all right, AI, that's awesome. But definitely speaking to the people that we've got and our clients. I think one of my favorite things this last year has been connecting with people like you. Josh Swain from Charter College was another one that I got to really kind of connect
He made
with.
fun of my presentation, though. I got a beef with him. So he even gave my shirt away. I thought that was unkind.
This is the presentation with you and Jeremiah at C-SPAN, wasn't it?
We did, we did a presentation and took the theme from Step Brothers. And
they nailed it.
Of course you did.
You missed it. They had a whole the whole presentation. They completely nailed it.
Nice.
But yes, that's the secret sauce. The secret sauce is having an amazing team.
But your secret, and sorry to cut you off, just because I get excited. But
we expect to be cut off, so we're fine to chat with Charlie.
But your secret sauce is your people too. I mean, I remember.
That's what I mean.
I know that's what you mean. I'm just re-emphasizing it. But, when I was talking, I think I was talking to Gary and Mitch, this may have been last year or something and we were trying to hire some people. We were having like everybody was having just a hard time finding the right talent. You can hire people, but hiring the right talent is something clearly different in the bus. And I was like, I don't understand how you guys get so lucky with the people that you get. And I mean that sincerely. Like, I have not met one person who doesn't represent what you just said, whether it's at night where they can sure not represent that way, or it's during the day or whatever. And that's from top to bottom. That's quite impressive.
We have a very long list of values and a culture statement that our CEO, Mitch Talentfeld, put together long before I was a part of the company. And I know that that's one of the biggest parts of our interview is actually going over that with the CEO, which is kind of strange. I remember sitting across the desk from him and he asked me to define exponential thinking. And I was like, what?
First, spell it.
Sam, I have a little bit of a spoiler alert for you. While that was ingrained in the company since I was there in 2011, I feel like that document itself might have been done like the day before you were being hired.
Really?
The document
do this quickly. Do you guys have retreads, what I call it? Do you have people that leave, they think the grass is greener, and they're like, you know what? It's
one's on this call.
I don't know. Yeah. Do we have a
drink?
drink?
Go ahead and take a drink there. I coach you out.
I had a little hiatus for about 1.5 years. That was an interesting runaround. I went to another agency that, I don't know, can I say this, had a high turnover rate, met a ton of people, which was great because there's, as we mentioned here, low turnover at MDT. They hire well. They have a good organization as far as the culture, or especially the culture. And our clients, we have clients for a long time, AIM being one of them. So I got to experience a different culture and then actually the hiring manager, or the person I was going to report to, left the week before I started. She ended up hiring me at another company after I'd left the agency that just got acquired. So I had this high turnover agency scenario, and then being part of another company that got acquired by a company 10 times as big. So it's a little bit of a ringer outside of MDT. Different.
So
different
you had 2 resume company gaps and then came back. Is that?
You could say gaps, but I don't know that there was a gap, which is kind of cool.
Well, that's gap. Yeah.
2 different stuff.
Edit that out, Mark.
No.
Gap.
It's all. I'm actually, this is bizarre. I was at MDT a good while before that hiatus, as I call it, and I'm back literally the same amount of time. So I think I'm all in, or 5.5 each way.
And it said you've been there a while too, right?
Yeah, so I've been here
Double digits.
13 years.
I want to say 13. Yeah.
12 or 13.
Just
Yeah.
and
After 10.
You stopped counting, right?
Yeah.
Did you get like
much.
a pen or something, or?
No. So it's funny though, when we were talking about hiring and kind of the longevity of us, and even with different paths all being here, and when we were talking months ago about the challenges with hiring, I think one of the big things that MDT's done is from the very beginning, Mitch Tallenfeld, as Samantha mentioned, our CEO, he's really fostered an environment where if you find somebody that's good, even if the role that you're hiring for isn't exactly aligned with them, if you come across somebody that's good, get them.
Yeah.
Get them and give them room to make it their own. So another thing you might not know is when I started, I was in media buying. I was a traditional media buyer. And
was it broadcast? Is broadcast?
Yeah, broadcast.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing digital. It was just straight
Explain
up
broadcast
TV,
so people that don't know what exactly broadcast covers.
Yeah, so NBC, ABC, your traditional
Jerry
Big
Springer.
Four.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sally
all
Jesse
mostly
Raphael.
daytime.
Yeah.
Sally Jesse Raphael. Yes. Gunsmoke.
And you are the father. Sorry, I digress.
But all of that stuff, radio and everything, at the time, nothing really digital. It was all kind of just traditional broadcast. And I started getting pulled into client calls to explain why we were doing things or weren't doing other things, and all that stuff. And through that, I kind of started gravitating towards the client side, and then went over to the account management side. And then, now I'm, again, kind of leading the charge on the agency services as a whole.
Yeah.
So Mitch has kind of allowed that environment for me to shift and to, let me kind of go to my strengths. Brian started out in, I think, account management.
Who has a great beard, I've got to say.
Well, that's the hockey.
Actually,
that's the hockey.
It's getting gray.
Wow.
Ted, I started off as the assistant in the internet marketing department, and then made my way like you into account management, and then into sales. Yeah.
If you talk to people that work at MDT, Jonathan started out in, I think, support for our call tracking.
He's the coolest cat, by the way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah. Makes great beer. Just smokes before he runs. During why I run. He reminds me, there's a Serbian that used to play basketball, and the dude used to smoke like a pack of cigarettes during a game. And I'm like, that's Jonathan.
Before I ever met Jonathan, I was given this photo of the team, and I was told to Photoshop it to add all these new people into it, including myself. And I was looking at this photo for the longest time, and Jonathan is one of those team members that has been fully remote for forever. And in this picture, he is like, when I saw it, I was like, God, this guy is so cool. Like he has his essence to him. In the picture, he is literally like adjusting his cufflink in the picture. So he's just got this like little, like, I don't know, vibe going on. And you could feel it coming off of this still image that's just coming at you. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So the first time he walked in the door at MDT and I met him in person, I literally was like, hi. And I just walked right by because I was like, I don't know how to handle your coolness. Are you going to be like one of those people that are just like too cool for everybody else? Or are you going to be like super genuine, which is what he is? Just the most genuine person.
For our audience, Jonathan put together our Power BI, which is a data depository from the CRM and SIS that we use. And it really is what Ted and I, I'm sure others do too, but dig into all the time. And I remember initially having a call with him, and it was a video call, of course. And I remember looking at him going, that dude's going to do our Power BI. I mean, I feel like he should be holding like some sort of product and going, buy this or something. But that dude, wicked smart, able to break things down for a small brain like me for understanding. And I think the coolest factor, and I think all of you have this, is the ability to listen to a lot of conceptual things, but put them into some sort of executional manner. And I would say that, I mean, for me, that's 100% builds that loyalty. And I imagine your other clients feel the same way. There's such a trust that is experienced between the interactions that we have. And Jonathan's right off the bat was one of them. I don't know if Ted, I think it was Gary I was working with then. And he just banged it out and just did a fabulous job. Yeah. So I got another question. This is for Brian. One of the things I love, and I'm sure Sam is part of this, is you guys do holiday things. Like you'll do a picture, you'll put them on social, you'll send out cards, and the picture resonates the culture. You got Mitch doing something and something Mitch goofy, got everybody doing something, but there's a camaraderie without a narrative that's shown in that. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I can definitely comment on it. It has to do with, like you guessed it, Samantha's efforts and the yearly summit and how we get together as teams and our team builders. But we don't know when we're taking those pictures. It's natural. We are close knit type of what you see is what it is. And then there's this magical holiday time where we're actually as a team surprised on how we're then depicted, which is kind of exciting. I'm thinking of St. Patty's Day where we have teammates that are leprechauns and our suits change, and it's hilarious.
But to me, and we're trying to do this here, is I fully believe that individual characteristics make the company. And there's individuals and also pictures in there. And we're doing it. We tried 2 years ago, and now it's just what we do by strategy. Is everybody's got their own personality. Like AIM is not the personality. The parts, which are the employees, Joel English, who is our CEO, me, Mike, Pat, all these guys, they've got their own personalities. And I have found that's what people gravitate to, no matter the demographic, whether the 18, 25, 35, 45. I feel like that's what they want to see. That's what they want to understand. And I get that from you guys when we do certain things. And from a partner perspective, that's what I want to see too, because I'm human, right? I don't want to have mechanical conversations or those type of things. And I think you guys have done that. I think all of us can always do better, especially us. But we've learned from you on that. And we've learned some things and techniques that show who we are, and people want to be around us. Well, maybe they don't. That's so egotistical. But hopefully you get what I mean. Be around us in a sense that, hey, these are the guys I'm going to rub shoulders with. I want to hang with these dudes. I want to learn a career. I want to do this, or by staff. I want to work with them. I want to grow with them, and I want to represent them like at Thanksgiving dinner or something like that, and have that personality show. Would you guys agree with that? And especially with Sam, but Brian and Ted, and what you guys are trying to do? Because you're not just here to schlep leads to everybody or show them something new so their revenue can grow. There's so much more to your culture that I haven't had. I've been in this for 20 years and I've worked with many agencies, and I feel like you guys got that essence that isn't forced, that is just so natural and so nice to have. You guys feeling me? Picking up what I'm putting down?
Yeah. I'll say this, and I'll let Samantha and Brian chime in as well. But
yeah, you are chatty, my friend. I like this.
Me?
Yes, I like it.
I told you.
She did say that. Yeah.
You get the holidays coming up. I'm in a good mood.
He has a nice shirt on for you.
Yeah, the collars. He doesn't have a bacon collar. No bacon collar.
I had a polo on, and I was like, you know what? I checked some of the chats with Charlie, and I'm like, man, everybody's wearing ties sometimes. And then he got polos. And it's like,
wait a minute.
Ties. I think the only person I saw wearing suits was the bear and Joel. So
that's it. That's all you will. I got to ask a question before you answer that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's got to be some sticky notes around you.
There are no sticky notes in this office.
So it's someone else's office.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm in somebody else's office. I'm basically, if you look at the back, I'm in like a doctor's waiting room, apparently. Looking at this.
Yeah, I feel sterile. It feels very sterile.
Yeah. It's funny though, because what I was going to say about when you were talking about personalities, another word for that is just authenticity. It's just
great word.
For us, it's very easy for us to go and say, oh, we're a digital marketing agency. We do digital marketing well and all that stuff. That's boring. Nobody has time to do that. And part of the reason why we brought Samantha in all those years ago was we weren't doing a good enough job promoting ourselves because the stuff that we were trying to do was the stuff that everybody else was trying to do. And it just wasn't fun.
You were a commodity then almost, right?
We were, yeah. And when you're trying to say like, oh, well, what differentiates MDT from other agencies? It's like, oh, well, we put the client first. We're performance driven. Like everybody says that. So it's like, it gets boring to just say that over and over. And you don't like it. It's just not excitable internally or externally. And that comes across. What Samantha's done an amazing job of is finding ways for us to interact and to get together, whether it is through events, happy hours, team building, all of that stuff, and then capture those moments. And then having conversations where me and Jonathan can talk about, in one breath, how the rutabaga is growing on the little farm he's got in the backyard to how ChatGPT is going to totally transform SEO in the future. Like we can have these kind of conversations, and then by capturing that and those things, then you bring out that authenticity and you show people's personalities at the same time. So I think really having that dedicated effort, not of how do we market ourselves, but of let's just talk to each other and let's just try and capture those moments. I think that's really where that personality starts to come through a little bit more as you build that authenticity. Is
it hard? And Brian, I want you guys to comment too, but is it hard to get there? Like, let's say you hire me, like you don't know me and I passed your very extensive litmus test to come on board. Is it hard for someone from the outside? Like, who's your newest employee right now?
By the way, we have agreements in place where we can't hire you. You can't hire our team. Mitch, if you're listening.
Sorry, Mitch.
Charles gonna edit that out now.
Yeah, good editing. But you get what I mean, though. I appreciate what you're saying, and that will never hold up in court.
Actually, one of our first questions on our interview is, do you know what Star Wars is? And do you know who Luke's father is? And if you could answer that, we hire you.
There was so much more I was looking forward to, and that did not talk about sweaty pipes. So I kind of get you. I do get what you're saying, but in our marketing pay, and I want to get to some of the things that you do for us because I want to make sure people know who you are because they don't see you and you do the heavy lifting, and I just like get on a call and do a couple jokes and then we hang up
and win Marcom Awards.
Dude, is that not awesome or what?
I'm super excited.
Awesome.
Twice in a row. I'm super excited.
No, we're going to three-peat this thing. We're going to three-peat it. Mm-hmm. So, in our marketing department, what I found is we have an internal agency here, right? And you guys know that we have a creative team and then a production team, which is Mark and Johnny and some other people. And we do social and things like that. But one of the hardest thing I've noticed when we bring in new people, they're just like, we want them here. We ready to go to lunch with them just yet and things like that. And some of it I like, you know what I mean? Because they own it. It's like our Teterboro campus in New Jersey that, you guys are aware of. The students there, I mean, they make sure that the right students are there. They make sure we're bringing the right students in. Ted, we spend virtually no money to pull people into that school. It's a natural, organic kind of fraternal order there. And to some extent, I do like that. I think it makes it hard on a new person to kind of break into it. But it's kind of like, if you're going to come here, you got to bring your salt and find out where your piece of the puzzle is going to sit and bring it. And I must say, it sounds heartless when I say it and like non good. Put that in chat GPT. I can't even say GPT. Put that in chat GPT. But you know what I mean? To some extent, I'm like, yeah. Way to represent and own yours. You know what I mean? I was talking to the people the other day and we were talking about something and I was like, I want to work with people. If you see a piece of trash when you're walking in the building, you don't walk by it and just go in and someone else will get it. I want to work with people that take pride in where they work and pick that thing up and throw it away. That type of personality. Just to springboard off what Ted was saying, what do you guys think about that, especially when you are working with so many people, right? And you may have partners that you don't necessarily personality get along with. How do you deal with that? How do you work with that?
You just don't talk to those people.
Okay. And they obviously don't watch Star Wars.
I know one of my strong suits, and it's funny, this isn't the first time I've come into a company and have been placed in a role where I do the internal marketing, as they call it, or the interpersonal communications and it's not quite an HR position, but it's a position where I'm doing the team building. I'm bringing the team together to make sure that our communications aren't just, hey, so, what about Ames, Google stats or whatever. It's about, hey, how was your weekend? Hey, I saw Andrew, was going to be on this play that you talked about. How was that this weekend or whatever? And knowing like who's people, people's wives' names, husbands' names, kids' names, stuff like that, we have those conversations.
But I've been taught never to do that.
Wow. I'm so
You
sad.
guys, I mean, maybe I'm older than you. And most likely I am older than all of you. But I mean, back in the day, you didn't merge your worlds, right? You were there to work and you didn't really do that. And I think it's evolved now to that camaraderie of friendship and things like that, right?
I mean, that's all I know. I don't think I could not. That's just who I am.
It's also really important to understand what is going on with other people, because, like if I've got something happening in my life, if I have a loved one that's sick or something like that, I need to be able to express that, like, hey, maybe I'm slacking in a couple of different areas that normally I would pick up that trash as I'm walking through the building, but I've got all of these things going on in my mind. And if you don't have those conversations, you don't know that.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of cut each other a little bit of slack, if we're a little bit short with each other, because we know like, oh, you just had a baby and they're colicky. And so, you're not getting enough sleep. So how can I help you out?
This seems very close to home. Right.
Thankfully, no. No colic in our house.
That now.
A little bit, thankfully. No, it's important to be able to have that trust. I think that's what it comes down to, is that internal trust, to be able to say like, hey, I've got this stuff going on. Like, I'm going to be better in these areas, but right now I just got to deal with this. And for us to be accepting of that and to say like, no, man, we got you. Like, you've been here for, 8 years. Like, we know how hard you work. We hired you for a reason.
But it's more than just a trust fall. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to trivialize it, but you've got to have that heart, and it's got to come from the top down, I imagine. So it's absorbed by everybody else.
I'll give you an example of that, speaking from the top down. So not only when we're hiring, MDT's hiring, and it's a certain values that they're looking for, and it is hard to get hired by MDT in that lens, especially, or it's a main.
Well, I don't know. You just need to know who Darth Vader is, and you're pretty.
Hey, I think you'd be surprised.
I was just so shocked. There was one year where we hired on, I think, 3 different people, and all 3 of them were into Star Wars, which is a good portion of us already were. And so I was like, Gary, do you have that as a question on the application?
Love it.
Mitch. So what I was going to get at is Mitch will walk away from bad money. And when I say bad money, I mean, for instance, if there's, whether it's a partner, client, or an opportunity, if it doesn't seem right, or even if it seems right, and he's peeling back or will peel back the structure of the agreement. And I don't know if Ted sees where I'm going with this. There was a scenario where we wanted to send mail to people who were visiting the website. And before they filled out a form, they were anonymous at that point. And there was a program where we could be doing that. And the more we got into the conversation on how that was going to be done, there were some question marks that the thread just kept getting pulled at. And it could have been a significant opportunity. And the minute we pulled at those threads and saw, oh, this isn't even, it's not that it's illegal. This is just too close for comfort to just not being right. Walked away. That was
and not even a gray area.
Yeah.
So how does that relate to even partners? And again, we're talking in a very vague sense or an umbrella sense, but Sam, brand reputation, you've got to think about that all the time. I have to think about it all the time. So your partners also represent you to some extent, right? And so you have to be careful as far as brand reputation on who, you're going to eat a piece of steak with, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yep,
we don't want to, we don't want to eat the moldy hamburger after.
God, we're getting so many good visuals here. But I imagine, I've never been on that side of the table, but I can imagine the struggle, just like, we have a different struggle, but maybe the same type situation where you're looking at a revenue producing client, but it doesn't match maybe by partnership or by whatever it is, you can insert any adjective or whatever, but it doesn't match in who you are. And you guys are strong enough in your convictions as a team and as a unit that that's okay. Like there's tons of other people out there that can service you. It doesn't match our brand or who we want to be matched with, so to speak.
I don't even think we think of that as a team enough. Like imagine the effect that has on the team and the decisions that they make, where the CEO demonstrates making those types of decisions and the impact. Now, when I'm making my decisions, it's okay to do something like that. That's counter to revenue, but best for the company, versus being at a culture where it's revenue at all costs, and some of those, how that culture could really.
But that's huge, right? And I believe that's where it starts. I mean, Mitch, your CEO, he sends me text messages just to see how I'm doing sometimes. I mean, who's going to do that, right? I mean, they want me to spend more money, get more leads, and, let their top line go up, and hopefully my top line will go up, that type of thing. But I do sense that, and that what makes us a family, I feel like, and not to get sappy, but it is Thanksgiving. So I thank you for that.
And Mitch really does. He genuinely cares. Like Mitch loves this sector more than anything.
He is the sector.
Passionate.
I mean, to me, he is the sector. I think of people, Art Kaiser, Mitch and John South, and just go down there, and us, Jerry Yagan. I mean, the sector is better than the news people read. And those people represent the sector and care about this sector so much, it hurts them. When some of those things happen and come up, if you get what I mean, and I'm sure some of the listeners will. Let's switch gears just for a quick second, because I do want to talk a little about what you do for us. Ted and I, just for the listeners, we spend a lot of time together, nauseatingly, and we go over anything from making sure we're targeting right, to make sure the inquiries that we're delivering to schools that are at the right conversion propensity, meaning that the numbers that a salesperson is getting is relevant to their ability to convert them, and we don't have loss of spend or anything like that, or shrinkage if you're in a retail type situation. We talk about everything from SEO, which is Josh does a fabulous job. Every time I think of Josh, I think of a wolf in the background howling at the moon, and I can't get that out of my head. I'm like, dude, please change that background, because every time I like when you think of AIM, you say you think of me. Every time I think of Josh, I see this wolf like howling, and I'm like, can't get it out of, and sideways. I always see like this.
That's
you know what I mean?
He's always looking at this.
But the dude's freaking
talking to you.
Yeah. But the dude is freaking killer. So we spent a lot of time, Ted and I, on bringing to the campus, which we feel is the best food to eat. Like we're their dietitians, so to speak, so that they can feel nourished and fed and then have sustainable growth. We're not looking to have the ceiling, blow off the top. We're looking for good, sustainable growth so we can deliver our commitment to not only the community, but for the students and the people that surround us and our partners, right? Now, Brian, I can talk to Ted, but Brian, you and I don't spend that much time together. Sam, we spend a little bit of time, but not much time together. Talk to me a little about what you do, and I'd love you to slant it a little bit to maybe it's not just for AIM, but something that is AIM-ish that you do, for the people that are listening to from MDT.
I think the best way I can insert myself into that conversation is I was kind of your unofficial first account manager in 2012 when you guys we were managing your paper lead. That was at actually, you know what?
It wasn't the Thrifty Nickel.
You guys were doing Z-Track with us, but it was Z-Track. And then once you started doing paper lead, that was me. And then as it grew, that kind of was my way from, which is kind of cool, from managing paper lead and then crossing into account services with you guys as my first kind of account that I was client facing with, which was cool.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
And paper lead, for those that it's an aggregator, right? It's a deliverable of inquiries, right?
So we weren't, just to be clear for those watching, we weren't generating the paper, or we weren't generating those leads from the aggregators. We were kind of policing them, negotiating, and making sure that.
And you need a big baton.
Ted was my manager at some point during that time, and there'd be many.
Oh, he was?
Yeah,
So tell us, is Ted a good manager?
Ted is awesome. There is no. I didn't. Yeah. Should I not while he's here? Should I kind of give him a hard time and then tell you?
No. Come on, you got important stuff to say. Let's hear it.
It's Thanksgiving.
That's right.
Just be happy Gary's not on. Ask that question.
No.
Gary, I can't even talk to him, man. I ask him a question, and this is a typical Gary. Well, I can't do his hair because his hair is perfect, but I'll do a conceptual thing, and he'll pause for a long time and go.
And you kind of wonder, did he hear me?
So what you're saying, if I'm understanding this right, you know what I mean? You were supposed to laugh at that, but
no,
he is such.
I was thinking
he's
we got to
such a
get Sam
thinker.
to have you come in and have a campaign where you're doing impressions of our team. I would absolutely.
No. It was, and I don't mean to do it like that. I'd love to do to death, but and Ted does this too, and all of you guys do this. But man, that is a dude that can take a schizophrenic burst of words and make it into something tangible and executable. And I don't know what his home life is, or if I drove him to drink or more or whatever, but that dude, I want to check his pulse sometimes, because I would even try to get, someone like, dude, you are the most even-keeled, cool cat I think I've ever met. You know what I mean? And Ted, you have
Gary. So me and Gary are similar and different when it comes to that, because we can both be quiet, but Gary uses quietness, or I don't know if he does it on purpose, but when Gary's quiet, you start second guessing yourself. Like everything that you just said is like, oh wow.
Yeah, he does that. I was like, Charlie, that
like,
was really stupid. Gosh, dang it, you did it again.
Yeah, like he's almost weaponized silence in a weird way.
I remember early on, I was like, are we okay? I mean, are we good? I don't know if you remember that tab. Like, I call him up separately. I'm, man, are we all right? Like, do you guys go in the conference room and just use sound bites of this, like me and stuff like that?
But that's the way that he processes things. So like you'll kind of come at him with all of this stuff, and he'll just sit back, and before he answers, he thinks through, like, is this all the information I need? Is there questions that I need to ask? What insight can I give to it? And so he's doing that, but we're all just kind of like sitting here waiting and kind of in our own heads thinking like, what's going on here? And I feel like
it takes forever. It's probably only a 5 seconds, but I mean, like a little sweat's going down my head, and I'm like, speak, man. It's like,
yeah.
God, he's so good. So, Brian, what are you doing now? Like, what's your main focus right now for MDT?
So we're Sam and I and Alex and the sales and marketing team. We're helping create systems that we can have predictable growth in a way that stays core to our values, as we were talking about earlier.
And you're very deliberate in that, huh? I love that. And then Sam, I know you're doing the same thing I'm doing, just on the MDT scale, but that's not an easy job, especially when you have so many characters. And I can say this, and it sometimes goes underappreciated, right? From a perspective of trying to get that brand out there from not only a cultural standpoint, but hey, hear me roar, Katy Perry, get it out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You really have to speak up. And Ted can attest to this, that I constantly speak up. I'm probably one of the more vocal ones on our team meetings on a Monday morning that he runs. And I'm constantly, actually, Ted, one more thing. I have something else I need to add to tell the team that we did this, just FYI. Yay, us. Really, I mean me. I did this. No. But it is about the entire team, because I can't do everything on my own. But something that you said earlier, Charlie, is that like what I do for people like you, for like our clients. And so again, I do more of the B2B, but what I do for our clients is I like to highlight what the successes you are having, because we know that we helped you get there. And we want to make sure that, and we want to celebrate that with you. We don't get to, travel over to Virginia Beach and attend graduations, but it'd be amazing to be able to do that and celebrate with the students and see the lives that we've changed.
I think you have a new campaign for MDT right there.
I know, right? But that was one of the things, actually, when I first started, I had met with Robert Kaiser, and he had told me,
what a smart guy that guy is. Real quick, pause for a second. What a freaking smart dude that guy is.
Yeah. He's got
nice and down to earth.
We worked with him for a long time.
Oh my gosh. You don't
yeah.
I mean, what Doc Kaiser has done, and his wife and everybody there, by making him just the human he is. I mean, he's had a small part in that too, I know. But just making him into the human he is, and sorry to digress, that's just my job as a host, so you have to live with it. But just an incredible, just a good dude that is so aware and is going to take that mantle and not tarnish that at all, for that great empire in Florida that they have going out there. So anyways, please continue. Sorry about that.
He is terrific. And I do owe him a drink, a coffee.
He owes me one too. So when you have that, invite me.
Perfect. But anyway, so he had mentioned that we don't promote ourselves well. And one of the things that, again, it's not about us. So I wanted to make sure that in ways to promote us, we promote our clients, and share you guys' stories and the passion that you guys have. Also, we share that passion. So it's just a lot of fun for me to be able to do that and kind of share those things socially too, that you guys have been sharing about your successes and sharing your stories on the success you've had with the campaigns that we're running for you. I know that it was amazing. I got to, again, Josh Swain, a charter college, he had done we did a case study for him on personalized video, which, we'd done for you.
Ours was better.
Very similar. Yeah. And he did a testimonial quote, and he really wanted to make sure he got it right, because he really wanted to emphasize how he'd been with MDT for 20 years. I didn't know this.
Wow, I didn't know that either.
That charter college has had a relationship with MDT for over 20 years. And I was so impressed that he knew that, and that he was so excited to share that, and just made me that much more excited to, share that with everybody else in our audience, about our clients and what we can do.
But that's who you guys are. So question, has Josh ever done any video shoots with you guys?
Just no.
He hasn't?
Not.
Dang it.
No.
Because my question was going to be, who took more takes, me or him? Or him and I. Sorry, proper grammar, Josh. Him and I.
I think this is a challenge, and we absolutely need to reach out to Josh and say, hey, Charlie had this many. Can you beat it?
I am totally down with that. I wouldn't mind doing, doing something together with him, because we both have benefited from video nurturing. And instead of having an individual type referral based kind of thing, which it is, and because of the data doesn't lie. But I would love to do something teamed up with him, because, we're not competitors. We're in this space together and doing things together, and I'll make him wear my shirt too. So that would also be a byproduct of that. Well, guys, we're running out of time. I do want to do this again. And I lost my fan. It's a little hot in here, and I had a fan down here to blow in my face so I wouldn't look all sweaty. But man, Brian, I'm so glad you're here. I've really gravitated to you, and we don't really know each other that well. I mean, we've seen each other at night, talked a little skating, which I still need to send you videos. But man,
Wait. Skating?
yeah, we'll talk about that another time. Yeah. We'll say, but we just made some decks too. We have branded decks now.
I want to see that.
Center and
Or
Trades.
how do I get one?
And I'll get you one. Absolutely. And we're having Tidewater Tech, the students, build some rails for us. I mean, that's what our guys do. You know, a lot of them are into soccer.
Mm-hmm.
We've got branded soccer balls now. We're doing decks. I mean, again, like going where the puck is or where it's going to be. I mean, that's who we are. That's what our students want to see. I mean, they're just not here to turn a wrench and hopefully get a job. They're here to live a life, right? And we want to be part of that with them in the short time that we have. So we're doing all that stuff. But yeah, man, we just did some decks, got some blanks, did some great artwork on the bottoms of it that we can rip up on the rail, and it'll be fun. But man, I read your LinkedIn quite a bit, and I have found some things in there that I've used. So just
Thank
great
you so
job
much.
representing MDT, yourself, and everything else. So I'm glad you're here. Ted, you know what I think about you. You've done a great job, and our campuses that will listen to this. I mean, he's the guy. He's very responsive. He brings you, like I say, the food that you need to eat in a very responsible manner. And I just cherish the time that we have together and things like that. And Sam, you know what I think about you. You're just awesome. Sweaty pipes or not, but you bring that MTV vibe that I think is that puzzle piece that really snaps into place for Mitch and crew. And then the rest of your guys out there, Alex, you know, everybody. I don't want to say names because I'll miss names, Tanya. But I don't want to miss names and say names and things like that. But everybody out, Gary. But
Dr. Mike would have been super sad if he didn't mention Tanya's name this entire interview.
Well, that'll be an after-hours show that we'll talk about. That will not be for prime time, but I appreciate you guys. So I do have one more question before we leave. One more question. So, you know, I guess you've seen all-star games like the Jabberwocky when Shaq walked out, he has his walkout music and things like that. What would your entry music be that says something about you when you walk in a room?
I'm really bad with song titles.
We'll go with Ted first.
For me, I'd go with Timmy Trumpet. I'm a Mets fan, so
really,
I would go. Yeah, that's a little something about me. I'm a suffering New York Mets fan.
Good grief, you're suffering.
Yep. So I'd go with that.
Go, Strawberry. Brian,
I don't know if it says as much about me because it's not how I see myself walking in the room, but I always imagined if I had entrance music and being a fan of WWF from the Attitude Era, I got to go with Stone Cold. Going with Stone Cold music.
No way. Who's your favorite wrestler? We should have done that, man. What's your favorite wrestler?
Undertaker. Undertaker, hands down.
Really?
Yep.
Do you remember Jimmy Superfly Snuka?
He was a little bit before the Attitude Era, but yes.
Thank you for aging me. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you got yours. Sam, was that enough time? I really tried to segue a little bit there, so we gave you some time.
I'm just totally drawing a blank. There's a Sunshine song that I can't think of.
Like Beatles?
Who the artist is. No, it's a female artist, and it's a very
Mariah Carey.
happy song. What was that?
Someone text me.
It was so loud.
It was obnoxious, wasn't it?
It's aggressive.
Maybe my time was up.
Yeah.
You're not gonna cut off.
Usually we have a hook, but we just went with a ding.
But you know what's funny is at my wedding we had entrance music. Everybody got to pick out a song, and my husband and I picked out the Empire March song from Star Wars, of course. So
You're a geek. You're a freaking geek.
Yeah.
I know that's a lot of people don't know about me too. I'm kind of a geek.
Well,
I
guys,
hope this airs on May 4th.
Did you get married on May 4th?
No,
Oh.
July 5th.
That's what we're gonna tell everybody, though.
Yeah, I'm sticking with that. May 4th. Old Sweaty Pipes got married on May 4th.
Worst nickname ever. Old Sweaty Pipes.
I don't know if that's appropriate. Mitch, if you watch this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We try to represent well. Well, guys,
close.
I thoroughly appreciate it. I love working with each of you. I love seeing you guys in your own element and just your personality. So I really do thank you for being on the show. Everybody that's listening, these guys are it. You've got mentors out there and things like this. These are the people to elevate yourself to, and especially for the school groups that we're with. These are the secret sauce. This is what we work with every day to ensure that you're successful. So, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys coming on, and we'll talk to you soon, right?
All right.
You too, Charlie.
All right,
Thanks for
guys.
having
We'll
us.
see you. Till next time.
Bye, guys.